but if the computer, if my phone is working well, the view seems to be fine here. I just have, the screen isn't as big.
Okay, yes, sir.
But if this is fine for you, it works for me.
It is, yes, sir. And okay, one second. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a special edition of Off the Record, the People's Podcast. Today we have Brother Dr. Robert Muhammad of Chicago, Illinois, who is a great inspiration of mine and a great inspiration to many people who know the great work that he's doing and has done. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, sir, and assalamu alaikum to your audience, and thank you so much, Brother Joshua. It's an honor to be on your show.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I see everybody with the questions. Thank you very much, and thank you all for extending the greetings to Brother Robert as well. Brother Robert, if you all, before we get started, I want to say that Brother Robert and I, he's known as not N.I. because he knew me since I was very young, elementary school, and to see you still thriving and winning it really inspires me, sir. I just wanted to say that it really inspires me.
All praises be to Allah.
Yes, sir. My first question for you is, when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
It was July the 19th, 1987, Brother Joshua. I had just completed reading the autobiography of Malcolm X, which was given to me by one of my teachers in college. And as I neared the end of this book, I asked the question, where are these brothers at today? Where are they now? So I asked one of my good friends, and he said, and the university that I went to, that I attended, is on the north side of Chicago, Loyola University. And he said, man, these brothers, you can go see them on 79th and Emerald. They'll be there Sunday. I said, brother, let's go. And so the meeting that I attended on July 19th, 1987, the subject was the obsolescence of the Black man and woman. Brother, it was everything that I was looking for. Because prior to reading the autobiography of Malcolm X, the Black students at Loyola University, which was about 1% of the population, we would meet in the basement of one of the dorms. And so we would talk all of this Black stuff. We read the stories and the history of our people, which was absolutely new to me. It took me getting to college to be exposed to our history. And so I recall saying, as passionate as a young man could say, I said, if I ever meet a man or an organization that's doing for Black people what needs to be done, I would link arms with that man.
Yes,
and
sir,
so
yes, sir.
When I heard the minister, brother, it was on and popping from there.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you all. My sister Naima says assalamu alaikum. Sister Teresa Pearl, always showing love. Alaikum salam. And give you extensive greetings to you as well, sir. My next question is, how did your parents feel about you accepting the teachings?
Oh, that's a great question. My mother, she just observed. She wasn't negative. She had nothing. Well, when she saw the weight that I lost in college, Brother Joshua, I lift weights and I trained. So I was, and in high school, I played football. I ran track and I played football.
Okay.
So when she saw the weight that I lost, they were quietly whispering, perhaps he got AIDS or something, and it got so that hurt my feelings. But other than that, and everything that I heard, I would go back and I would teach it, I'd be like, and so just observed, but wasn't opposed to. And today I could say with pride and happiness and joy that she supports the minister, and she's been to several Savior's Days.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. Okay, wonderful. I played football as well. What position did you play in high school, sir?
I played strong safety, Brother Joshua. And
Okay.
I chose defense because I wanted to be the one doing the hitting. But I was very deliberate.
Okay, yes, sir. Okay, excellent. And are there any strong safeties that inspired you back then? And do you like any strong safeties now?
I don't follow the game as much now, but at the time, I just love football. I came up, we played in the lots and the rest of that.
Okay.
There's many, but I'm apologies, I can't name one at this time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, excellent. Can you put us in the mindset of what it was like being in 1987 in Chicago when you came in? Who trained you? Like, who was the officers? Who were the laborers? And how was that?
Great question, Brother John. So going into the final call administration building
Yes, sir.
in 1987. So keep in mind, when I visited the final call administration building for the very first time, I was still in school. And so I determined that I would return to each meeting every Sunday, but I said I'd have to graduate before I joined. So when I began coming out, I remember seeing Brother Aaron, Brother George, or Brother Yusuf. I remember seeing Brother Ali. He was the supreme captain, maybe not in 87, I'm not sure. I remember, but when I registered, Brother Thaddeus was my first officer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brother Abdullah, prison reform minister, shout outs to Brother Abdullah. He was
Yes,
my
sir.
first study group coordinator. We would hear Minister Ava torching the rostrum. We would hear Brother Abdullah. So all of them were very formative. Now here's a point. The minister was the main teacher. So he was the very first person that I heard, and he would come out weekly. In fact, he did the series, How to Give Birth to a God, their final call. So I'm listening to that. And so Minister Ava, Brother Abdul Allah Muhammad,
Yes,
Brother
sir.
Abdul Wali Muhammad, great late editor of the
Yes,
Final
sir.
Call newspaper.
Yes, sir.
Very helpful in my development.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. Thank you all for watching, and thank you, Brother Robert, for your great testimony. Thank you. Walaikum salam, Mimi, and thank you all for continuing to watch. Sister Teresa says she loves football as well. My next question is, how did you get into medicine?
Oh, Brother Joshua. So in the early 90s, the minister wrote a series of articles on the pitiful health condition of Black people. Now, it wasn't even in the recesses of my mind to become a doctor. I'm just going to be very frank and honest. I went to Paul Robeson High School. I ran track, as I said, and I played football.
Yes, sir.
I did not go to class. So I really didn't. So when it was time to graduate, brother, I was on my way to the military because I thought that was the only option. I probably had a 2.0. You know, there was nothing in school that was attractive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So there was nothing attractive to me in school. And so I really didn't attend the classes. And so when it came to graduate, I was going to go to the military, and a family friend said, well, you should go to school here. I'm just trying to give you a backdrop.
No, I understand.
So the family friend said, well, you look like you would make a good social worker. And I'm like, well, okay, that sounds good to me. And so I went to school to become a social worker, and I graduated with a social work degree. I used that social work degree first year out of school to work at one of the local social work agencies, a youth agency. Now the minister was getting ready to open up Muhammad University of Islam.
Yes, sir.
And he called for teachers and doctors and people of high learning to come to teach at Muhammad University of Islam. Brother Brian Muhammad, who Brother Abdullah called the general. He
yes,
said,
sir. Yes, sir.
Brother Robert, you should apply. I said, Brother Brian, did you hear what the minister said? He wants doctors. He wants highly trained and educated people to teach at the school. I don't fit that category. All right. So no, sir. Thank you, but no, sir. So several months later, he said it again. Brother, you should apply to teach at the school. Brother, did you hear what I said a few months ago? No, sir. So months later, several months later, when he said it the third time, I said, well, perhaps I'll look into this. So I applied, and very surprisingly, Brother Joshua, I was approved to teach at the school, which was very humbling. And so I came ready to serve our nation and to serve the minister and to serve the babies at Muhammad University of Islam. And I started as a fourth grade teacher, a third or fourth grade teacher, and I began in that third and fourth grade classroom reading the science books and all the, brother, I was learning as I was teaching. That's just, and so I learned concepts in science that I don't recall. It seemed like I missed all of that. So that started a love for science. Now, when the minister penned these articles about the woeful, pitiful condition of our people, it started me on the journey to want to do something to assist our people in that area. So I started learning acupuncture. I started studying natural medicines. So that started the journey. But it was the inspiration of the minister in those articles. But I'd never even dreamed that I would become a doctor.
Praise be to Allah.
So when I received my degree, the official degree with the raised seal on it, I sent it to the minister.
Yes, sir.
Because I would never have become anything like that if it were not for him.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, excellent. And thank you all for continuing to watch. My next question is, I interviewed Sister Shelby, who's the directress at Muhammad University. I interviewed Sister Michelle and Brother Abdul and other teachers. And many of them spoke about the financial struggle and stress that was put on some of the teachers and the faculty because MUI was just starting off. How did you overcome that when you were a teacher and and having a family?
How did I overcome it?
Yes, sir.
We didn't overcome it. Oh man, we rode the wave of, it was tough, Brother Joshua, to receive charity, and it was certainly charity. But what I signed on for and what we signed on for, there was no looking back. The minister reminded us that this is not a job. If you are looking for a job, then you're in the wrong place. This is a mission. And so we signed on with mission. We were grateful to be working at Muhammad University of Islam. I mean, we have to understand that. Happy to be serving our nation. So we made do.
Yes, sir.
And I grew up in Inglewood. Now, this is my personal testimony. I grew up in Inglewood. And Brother Joshua, I didn't realize how poor we were until I moved out of Inglewood. I got to the college campus and I was like, man, these people live in large.
Yes, sir.
So I grew up without. So not having, love is how we overcame. Love for the mission, love for the nation, love for the Savior, love for the base that had been laid. So, brother, that was nothing to do.
Praise be to Allah. And thank you for that spirit, and thank you on behalf of myself and my family. We want to thank your family for their sacrifice as well, sir. My sister, my sisters, all praise to Allah, Chief Magistrate Maurice Muhammad, Walaikum Salam, extends the greetings. Sister Branda said, from Chicago said that you and her both shared a science lab and classroom.
Yeah.
She was grateful to have Brother Robert to support and help her in the transition to teacher mode. And she also said that absolute charity, but you all did it with love. Praise be to Allah, Sister Kayla. And yes, her Sister Teresa. Boom. Now, when you say Inglewood, you're referring to Inglewood in Chicago or Inglewood in California?
Inglewood, Chicago.
Inglewood, Chicago. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, sir.
Inglewood, Chicago.
Excellent. My next question is, how was it when you first met the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan?
When I met him face to face,
Yes, sir.
which is what backdrop. The minister would come to teach the teachers every Tuesday at Muhammad University of Islam. Not every, I shouldn't say every Tuesday, but he would meet with the teachers and he would teach us, and then he would ask us questions, which was just awesome to have him instructing us personally, asking questions and really driving home the importance of what we were doing and the importance of the children, and then how to get over, how to teach, and what a good teacher looks like. But meeting him face to face, personally, Brother Rafai, who taught Arabic at the school, and
yes,
also had the awesome responsibility of giving the khutbahs every Friday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I didn't know he was looking for help. I just wanted to learn Arabic. So we were all learning Arabic, and Brother Rafai mentioned to me that he wanted me to assist him, and he told the minister that. So the minister said, well, I'd like to meet him. And so after the meeting, not after the meeting, he invited us to dinner, and the table was full. So we were part of a large group that was there. But I was called to the side to meet him face to face. And so, Brother Joshua, I mean, so he gave me instructions.
Yes, sir.
It was like he took me in, right, like a scan.
Yes, sir.
And he said, yes, sir, you can go on and do that. And then he gave me very specific instructions. But I was in a haze, brother. I'm telling you, haze, complete, like, yeah. So very awe-inspiring.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. Now, and thank you. And I have to reach out to Brother Rafai, because it is because of him that I know Wahid, Isnay, Thalatha, and Alif Bata, like all the Arabic numbers and letters. It was definitely Brother Rafai. And thank you, Brother Robert, for your great teaching at MUI and disciplining us when we were young, because I remember you being very strong with us. Praise be to Allah.
Well, I had rambunctious boys. No, you all was it's just the nature of boys. You all were fine.
Yes, sir. My next question is, when did you see the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, or go from seeing the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as maybe someone who is a activist or a leader or a good speaker to someone who was divinely guided?
When I first saw him for the very first time.
Praise be to Allah.
The obsolescence of the Black man and woman. What the minister did for me that day. See, I was on my way in my own mind to becoming like Black nationalist in my orientation.
Yes, sir.
I really had no idea the role that God, Allah, would play in our deliverance. So in that meeting, he tied our struggle to the scriptures. Brother, I had never even thought of that. And so his manner, his sincerity, his strength, his compassion. So in that very first meeting, brother, I was completely blown away. Completely.
Praise be to Allah.
and believed everything that he said the first meeting, the day one.
Wow.
And I left that meeting like liberated, like a weight had been taken off my struggle, off my shoulders. And like the Christians sing the song, the battle is not ours, it's the Lord.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so when I understood that, because we were, brother, the black stuff that we were talking in that little basement in college, man, we were, you know, we were ready for action. We were gonna be like, so
yes,
when
sir.
I learned that Allah was at the head of this, brother, yes, sir, I'd never even thought or dreamed, like many of our people don't look at this as a divine, there's a divine solution to that, to this. And so I walked away with that from that very first meeting.
Excellent.
And understanding too, I won't say understanding, but looking at the minister and his representation of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as divine.
Wonderful. My next question, and thank you all for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. My next question is, have you, in your tenure in the Nation of Islam, ever had to face a moment of fear? And if so, how did you overcome that moment?
I have to go with the first thing that came in my mind. So, Brother Joshua, you know, when you join the Nation of Islam, when we join the Nation of Islam and we have a duty,
Yes,
something that we have to do, and we're told to do X, Y, and Z, we go and we do it. All right. So we were at Michigan State University, and the job was to secure the building, make sure there was nothing there of a harmful nature, just search, basically.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so what was pointed out to me were the pews or the bleachers, but they weren't down. They were partially down, but I had to climb up. And if you can imagine bleachers that are pushed in, it's like 2 stories or so up. So it's easy to get up, but it's not easy to get down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I went up with vigor, to search everything, because anything could have been there.
Yes, sir.
But when it came to get down, I could not see how I could get down from those bleachers without tumbling. I mean, falling 2 stories or so.
Yes, sir.
So that's what come to mind. And Allah sent an angel to help me get down.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, excellent. My next question is, how was it leading up to the Million Man March, and what was the impact what impact did it have on you?
Leading up to the Million Man March, naturally the minister had toured the cities. It began with the Stop the Killing, then the men's only meetings.
Yes, sir.
And then the Million Man March. So leading up to, the atmosphere was growing, brother, and the excitement was growing, and people, everybody was going to the Million Man March. Yes, so it was a buzz with, brother, you going to the Million Man March? Yes, sir. You going to the Million? So that was all that we heard in the street and everywhere that we went. Very exciting time. We didn't know what would happen on the mall. We didn't know, brother, going to DC, whether we would return or not. So at the time, I was an emergency medical technician. Pardon me, just a minute. I was an emergency medical technician because, remember, I was on this journey to become a doctor, and I was sampling, doing these things. So I carried with me a medical bag in case anything happened. And so at 4 o'clock in the morning, I make my way to the mall. And the mall is already jam-packed with people. Already jam-packed. I had my FOI uniform on, and I had to get to the front, but there's a sea of black men in front of me. I'm like, man, how am I going to get through all these people to get up there? But so the uniform, it was like parting the sea. And so brothers moved and cleared the way. but to see the sea of men, I will never forget that as long as I live, brother. As long as I live. As long as I live. And the impact, I believed that after seeing the Million Man March and the impact that the Million Man March had on our people, I thought, man, when we get back to our cities, brother, the hereafter is on its way.
Yes, sir.
You know, man, this is done. This is a done deal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, excellent. And I just have a brief commercial break for the sponsors of this week's episodes of this podcast. I want to make sure.
I need to grab my charger. Pardon me.
Oh, yes, sir. Do your thing, sir. Supreme Men's Clothing, St. Louis, Missouri, 10835 West Florissant Avenue, zip code 63136, phone number 314-528-555. Thank you, sir, for always showing love, and thank everyone for supporting him. If you need some good fashion, he's going to keep you fresh. He's going to keep you dripping. Shout out to our brother, Supreme Men's Clothing in St. Louis, Missouri. Also, my brother Rashad, video production company, Street Premiere. He's working on some films, some editing, some TV. He's working on a lot. He has a drone, and he appreciates everybody's support. He's constantly booked and busy. Also, my sister Miriam's book, ABC I Love Me, coloring book, as well as children's book. It's on Amazon. Make sure you all get it and support it, please. My second book, which is a children's book, Cleopatra, it is on Amazon. Thank you all for your support. And last but not least, my father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, and it is on AbdulSharifMuhammad.com. Thank you all very much for your sponsors. Shout out to Brother David, and our anonymous sponsor from the West Coast. Thank you. Appreciate that. Back to you, Brother Robert. And thank you all for watching with Dr. Muhammad. Brother Robert, my next question is, what has been your greatest trial in your tenure in the Nation of Islam, and how have you overcome that?
The greatest trial. Brother Joshua?
Yes, sir, I'm right here.
Pardon me.
Yes, sir.
The greatest trial, in honesty, in retrospect, is financial, has been a financial difficulty. Though we did it joyfully, that would have to be to not have means with a family. That was tremendously difficult.
Yes, sir. And once again, I want to make sure that we thank your family for their sacrifice, and thank you as well, sir. What has been your greatest joy in your tenure in the Nation of Islam?
Brother, seeing our nation grow, seeing believers, seeing the realization of all that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has told us about, to see our people coming into our own after 400 years of hell.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And to know that the Savior has come to redeem us and to resurrect us. That's a joy. To see the flag of Islam flying over the Mars. We have a nation. That's, brother, that's joy.
Excellent.
That's joy.
My next question is, how did you begin to become how did you feel owning your own clinic once it was official?
It's surreal, Brother Joshua. When I walk down the hallway to something that Allah, in the person of Master Farrakhan Muhammad, really has aided me every step of the way to do and to maintain and still be present doing it. It's like surreal. It's like, you have to pinch yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because first of all, it was not even in the recesses of my brain anywhere to become a doctor. And naturally, I attempted to join on to a group of doctors to practice. In fact, they asked me to join them. But I didn't know what they had in mind. They looked at me, but they looked beyond me, in my estimation, to what they could get and capture from what I belonged to.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Nation
sir.
of Islam. So the relationship didn't work very well when they didn't see me right away being able to garner the support of the Nation of Islam. I had just hung my shingle up. My shingle wasn't up, so people don't. I mean, so so it's a blessing. It's an absolute blessing, and it's something that I would never have imagined in my wildest dreams. But I give all praise to Allah for what has been done and what will be done in the future.
Praise be to Allah. My next question is, how have you been receiving support from within and outside the nation? How is that working?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I thank Allah for the wonderful support and confidence that the believers lend to me to bring their health-related conditions to us to allow us to aid. And so the support is phenomenal in and out of the Nation of Islam.
Okay, excellent. My next question is, what is the address and I know we're due to this, I don't know what's going on, but like in Chicago, but how can people continue to show love and support your business who live in Chicago?
First, they can go to the website, MidwestBackCenterofChicago.com. Again, the website is MidwestBackCenterofChicago.com, or they can go to the Facebook page, Dr. Robert J. Muhammad, and the Facebook page, Midwest Back Center of Chicago. And there they will find, I'm having some technical difficulties, pardon me.
Yes, sir.
And there they will find my information, Midwest Back Center of Chicago on Facebook, and MidwestBackCenterofChicago.com, which is the website.
Okay, excellent. My next question is, what advice would you give to future fathers?
Future fathers?
Yes, sir.
I would listen to the minister's message. I believe he has a 1972 or 74 lecture entitled "The Role of a Black Father." I would saturate my mind, my heart, my spirit with the guidance coming from Allah through the minister, yes, because we really don't know what we're doing, Brother Joshua. Unless, pardon me, just a minute. We don't know what we're doing, and we don't know that we don't know. So we need to be guided. And so you don't get better guidance than Allah's guidance himself. You know, yes, we can ask our friends, but that's not going to be that won't be beneficial as getting the guidance of Allah, straight, no chaser.
Yes, sir. Beautiful. My next question is, what advice would you give to future husbands?
The role of the Black father. Study. Marriage is the key. Marriage is, I believe that the titles and the lectures given by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan with respect to marriage, with respect to Black male-female relationships, there we have a treasure trove of information that all we need to do is reach and get it, and then apply it quickly to our lives, and we'll be successful. Okay. My wife and I, she was present with me. She was my girlfriend then, but we came together to hear the minister for the very first time. And so we would listen to the minister's keys to a successful marriage religiously, and study his work and his words. And by doing, we put Allah at the center of our marriage. So in our household, the nation, everything revolves around Allah and the work.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Excellent.
I need to plug in real quick.
Yes, sir. And thank you. Yes, sir. We're letting Dr. Robert plug the phone charger in. And thank you all for watching. If you all have a business that you would like to sponsor on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, or Instagram, Cash App J Imagination, and I will make sure that I take care of that for you all. We have some great interviews coming up this week due to the quarantine. We got some great information, and it's gonna be fun. So I thank you all for always showing love. My sister Miriam says she loves that lecture. Sister Tracy, welcome salam, ma'am. And thank you all for continuing to watch. And Brother Duran says all praises due to Allah. My next question for you, Brother Robert, is what do you do for fun?
Oh man, what is fun? What is that? Brother, I really love going out, talking to our brothers. I visit the barbershops with the Final Call newspaper, and they keep it 100 in the barbershops. If you want to get the pulse of the people, you go into the barbershop. But outside of soldiering, I love music. I love jazz. I love classical jazz. I'm learning how to play the trumpet.
That's cool.
Fun. I love reading. I love a good autobiography.
Okay, yes, sir.
I love the company of my wife. I love the company of the believers.
That's beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And thank you all for continuing to watch. Just two more questions for you, sir. My next question is, what advice would you give to the younger generation in order to keep the faith through trials and tribulations? In other words, like say 10 toes down, no matter what. What advice would you give to them and us?
Yes, sir. Great question, Brother Joshua. We really have to study and learn as much as we can about what it is that we belong to. What we have of knowledge is like roots that go into the ground, and it keeps us, it stabilizes us. To the degree that we don't know, then we're not stable. Any wind could come and just blow us right away. But if we're studied, if we know the minister, if we know the nation, if we know it from the scriptural vantage point, and we know the time and what must be done, it just keeps us grounded. I mean, this that we belong to is real. And so we have to discover that for ourselves. And we discover that by reading for ourselves and then taking what it is that we have learned and then beginning right away to apply it. And then we see that it's very real. It's beneficial to live the life. It has its benefits. It has its rewards. And so to apply what it is that we're being taught right away, it grounds us and we know that this thing is real.
Oh, beautiful. And thank you all for continuing watching. Thank you again, Brother Robert. I have one more question. What would you like your legacy to be, sir?
Brother, my prayer, daily prayer, is to be a great helper, protector, and defender of our beloved minister, our nation, our people, and people of goodwill. So if I could be that at the end of the day, I've done something to assist the Messiah in our midst. That's a legacy that I would be happy about.
Praise be to Allah. And once again, I want to thank you very much, sir, for taking time out of your busy schedule. Please continue to do the great work. And I have nothing but love for you and your family.
Nothing but love for you and your family too, brother.
Yes, sir.
Give your father, your mother, your entire family the greetings and the love from me and my family to yours.
Praise be to Allah. And I look forward to one day, inshallah, next time I visit Chicago, I have to come and check in at the clinic just to show love and to see with my own eyes what it's a product of Islam, but someone who taught me at MUI, did for self and is successful. That's an inspiration that I need, sir.
All praises due to Allah. Brother Joshua, may Allah continue to bless you in the efforts that you're making with the stories. This is phenomenal. I really appreciate it, and it's a great work.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.